Have you seen these phones where like they're folding?
They're like the new flip phones.
That's ridiculous. That's a
Yeah.
ridiculous concept. I get kind of what they're going with of like, hey, we need innovation, but
Right.
it just seems so unnecessary. I'm fine with keeping whatever I have until it goes wrong. Same with clothes. Like I've had this probably like 5 years. The jeans I'm wearing now, going on a decade probably. If it still works, I'm gonna keep it.
When you said same with clothes, I was like, wait, he doesn't want clothes that fold? I don't
All hangers over here. All
right.
hangers. Property box. I think you already know what it is, but just in case and you're riding with your like your cousin or something like that that may not know what this is, welcome Property Bonics.
Hey, or you riding around with a little honey dip, you know what I'm saying? You just introduced me to some cool cats, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got a honey Dijon in the passenger seat and you're trying to impress her. You're playing some Property Bonics. That's questionable on your end, but for the most part, we wish you luck.
She's probably like, yeah, I'm not giving you none. I'm never going to see this guy again. What a loser.
Yeah, honey Dijon. If your new honey boy dip, that's a weird one. If your new honey boy dip is blasting Property Bonics, it means a lot. It means that he's affable. He's tunes in with his emotions. He's emotionally intelligent. Maybe break him off with a little thigh rub.
I think a good name for a honey boy dip would be a honey dog.
Honey. What's your honey dip and honey dog? I like that. Yeah.
That should be like the name of our supporters. We call them the honey dips and the honey dogs.
Yeah. I think we got some honey dogs that listen to this and some honey dips and all that stuff. So honey dogs, we appreciate it. And we wish you well in your Honda Accord that we sure that you're driving in right now.
Right.
I haven't seen you in a minute now. What have you been up to?
I've been good. What is today? Today is Wednesday. We're recording on Wednesday. Yeah, everything's good, man. Staying busy. Consistently trying to write jokes. That's been my new, not my new thing, but like I think I say this like every episode, like every day, trying to write things, write. Because I was on the thing before about I only write when it comes to me, and if I get inspired. No, I need to sit down and put pen and paper every day, or phone, or fingers to phone every day, somehow, some way. You know what I mean? So that's what I've been up to. What about yourself, man?
Chilling. That's it. Just been chilling, looking myself in the mirror, being like, all right, I like that. And then I'm back at the apartment now. I'm no longer houseless. So
nice.
I'm enjoying the sun, which is pretty bright right now. I'm looking right into the eye. And yeah, I've been doing comedy shows and prepping up for my buddy's wedding at the end of October. I think I told you last episode I'm doing like sober September. I guess that's the name of it. So I haven't drank anything all of September. Two of the things I've noticed from this so far: one, I've lost weight around my stomach, and a little bit in like the back, like hip area. I didn't have a lot, but I noticed that some of it's gone. Pat, if you could play some applause right there for that one, the honey dog did it right there. That, and this is an odd one that I can't scientifically prove, but your boy's it's been thinning on top of his head just a little bit, like right in the back area for like consistent like 3 years now. It's been just kind of thinning.
Yeah.
I've noticed with the lack of alcohol in this last month, it feels like that exact spot has been thicker. And I looked into it, and apparently the science that could be is that since alcohol dehydrates you, dehydration kind of forwards the process of thinning and balding and such. Without that dehydration, it kind of stops that. I can't explain why it's thicker. That makes no sense, even if I did stop dehydrating, but it feels thicker. I was running a comb through it earlier, and it's like a full head of hair. So that's been nice.
Interesting. People, you might be on something. You might need to tell people like LeBron James, who have like the no hairline in the front, to stop drinking alcohol.
Damn. I didn't know he was drinking like that. It's kind of crazy, LeBron. You gotta chill out.
I don't know if he's drinking like that, but I do know he's balding like that.
Oh boy, I feel like we've been hearing a lot about like the NBA players and such. I feel like they're always kind of in the news sometimes with like wacky conspiratorial thoughts. And with everything with the vaccine, I feel like there's been a lot of NBA players that have been not hesitant to give their takes on these. I don't know if you've heard of any notable ones recently.
Yeah, I think the most notable person is Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets. He's always been like on his own thing, always been like, we can say Hotepish. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always been like this different. One time he was recorded like going around the arena before the game, like burning sage. So like
I like that.
Like he's unique. He's himself, and he has come out and said like he's not vaxxed. He doesn't plan on getting vaxxed. And I think that. So for me, it's a couple of different things. It's like, all right, it's your choice, whatever you want to do. But like, in order to even like play in New York, you got to be vaxxed to go into the arena. You know what I mean?
Even the players?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's so like. What you do? You just don't play half the games. Like, what do you?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people, athletes, and just like general workers overall that have been facing that of like when they put the company mandates of like you have to do the vaccine sort of thing, and then a lot of them, like some of them they end up leaving their jobs, some of them do it without really wanting to. And I'm curious when it comes to something like an NBA player where they have all the money that Kyrie Irving has the influence as well. It's not as easy to just drop someone like that. So where do they handle that, or how do they handle it?
It's not even like the team; their hands tied. Because I'm pretty sure the team doesn't want to drop Kyrie Irving,
right?
But he can't come in the building. Like you can't be like, well, hold on, it is Kyrie. Like no, like you literally put everybody else at risk. Like.
Is it possible for him to have like a walkie-talkie situation and kind of just do like a coach thing from outside of the arena, like from like a van? I don't know if that's like a thing that they do in the NBA.
He can't display his handles. I mean, he can't dribble and lay up with the walkie-talkie. You know what I'm saying? He's probably a way better player than coach.
Yeah. No knows. Maybe this could be his introduction into coaching.
I don't know, man. Okay, like this is how I was trying to think about it. Like you spend your whole life chasing this dream. It's here, you have it. Do you just be like, it's okay, I don't want to get it because the vaccine's not safe? Like,
I wonder.
Like, does he think he's going to die from the vaccine, or like what?
Some people have their feelings on it, sort of thing. I feel like for something like Kyrie Irving, he's made his name and his legacy already. So I don't know if he's thinking about it too much on that end of like, I need to meet my goals and dreams, because he's already there. It feels like he's just kind of playing extra in life. Yeah. I feel like that's it for a lot of like athletes and people that meet that huge goal where it's like, okay, I've met what I've deemed to be the pinnacle of life, and now it's just playing extra for the rest of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I hit that moment earlier with something. I got a new pair of socks that I liked, and I was like, all right, it's extra after this. I don't know. I don't know if if he thinks it's gonna kill him. I don't know if he just out of protests of just not wanting to do something that he doesn't want to put in his body. I mean, the science is there for a lot of people if they choose to read it and such. I told you off air what my doctor said,
yeah.
Which so some people have their speculations. That's just the truth of it. And it's I don't want to say I get it, because personally I don't get it as much, but I do. I guess I could kind of understand it, but
this is how you know that you're on the wrong side of history. Ted Cruz tweeted like in support of Kyrie Irving, like big ups to Kyrie. You know what I mean? It's like
that would make me go get the vax right away. I'm like, oh no, all right. Well, if I'm sharing the same mindset as Mr. Cruz,
right,
I want to bounce out of here.
Exactly, man. Like I don't know, man. It's just I'm surprised. Like I got like a whole vaccine joke that I do. And I literally, a couple months ago, I was like, man, I'm probably going to have to get rid of the vaccine joke. It's pretty much old news now. But like at this rate, it's still it's still what's the word I'm looking for? It makes sense. It's
relevant.
It's still relevant. You know what I mean? It's just like I can't believe it. We're still going back and forth with this. Like I just can't believe it, man.
You can always switch it up too and be like, all right, so people don't want to get the flu vaccine. It could be a yearly joke. You have like a one Thanksgiving joke, and it's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving season. I got the one turkey joke. Treat it that way.
No, you're right about that. I could. because it would make sense for any vaccine. Like, just yeah, for real. It's about white people being anti-vax. It's like, bro, like the government's not gonna hurt y'all, bro. Like,
Right. That was a line of thought too of like when it first came out of like, well, they're giving it to politicians and billionaires first. So I don't know if there really was like this agenda, whether that be like a microchip, aka Nokia, or if there's some sort of toxic that they're putting in your body for population control, it would be kind of perplexing if they're to give it to like these people with the influence first.
I know somebody in my family. We were talking about they're anti-vax, right? And I was saying like, yeah, you know, like the president and everybody got vaxxed like on camera,
Mm.
and they were like, you don't know what's in that needle. I'm like, oh my god, like it could be a fake arm. Like, oh my god, get out of here, get out of here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a new pair of arms. I wonder if they're like, hey, like they give you a sheet afterwards, like, hey, so these are some of the side effects. You may get new arms. I'd seriously, I'd contemplate it, see what's going on with these new arms, sort of thing. I'm Producer Pat has a note. Kirk, are you able to turn on a light? This is not a comedic note. This is a logistical note. Kirk, are you able to turn on a light? You are lit poorly right now. Well, Pat, I'm forever lit. I want to get that established. And I suppose I can. That's pretty bright sun.
No, I think that the sun is like setting and like half of your face is just like black.
Yeah, Ian, can we rock out with it? I kind of like it. Like this. It's like I feel yellow. I feel like a Simpsons character.
You gotta like turn to the side a little. There, you turn like that, then you're good. Then we can see your face.
This is how I want to think about it in some ways too. All right, now say if it was like, hey, we want you to come to, I don't know, family reunion may not be the best one. We want you to come to some sort of function. Let's make it a family function where there's going to be games, laser tags, your favorite cousins, all of that. However, if you come to this, you have to eat snails. You have to do it, sort of thing. Now, you don't really know if you like snails. In fact, you're pretty sure you don't like them. Think of it that way, in a way of like, all right, well, what if I'm trying to put myself in a position of someone who it's being imposed on them to do something that they don't want to do. Well, I don't necessarily agree with the logic of it for this particular vaccination. I feel like it helps give an understanding of where they're coming from.
Would you eat snails? And if not, you couldn't perform anymore.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good analogy right there.
You know what I mean? And like for me, if they told me like, yo, you would never be able to perform stand-up comedy again unless you ate snails. Someone that does not believe in eating snails, I'm gonna eat those snails.
You are not gonna eat the snails.
I will eat the snails because what stand-up comedy does for me and how it makes me feel. I couldn't live knowing that I didn't take that chance of eating the snails that people that didn't eat the snails were dying from anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like I couldn't live with myself because I love this shit so much. You know what I mean?
I wonder if it was like, because like Kyrie Irving, he's like a millionaire, I'm sure. I wonder what like this position from some of the younger players. Like I wonder if like there's any vocal college athletes that are talking about the vaccine.
There's vocal guys that aren't like superstars. It's like, bro, I don't even know who you are. Like you play on the Magic. That's like the worst team in the league, and you don't even start for them. And you're like talking about how you're not getting vaxxed because you're immune to COVID. I'm just like, you don't know. That's not how it works, man. Like, so yeah, there are people that aren't Kyrie Irving that are speaking out against the vaccine, and it's just like, I don't know. I definitely don't get it because I'm someone that is vaxxed and I believe in the vax. But I guess if I wasn't vaxxed, it probably would make more sense to me. But I just don't get it.
The next episode, I'm gonna ask my doctor to replace me for an episode and just have you have a conversation with my doctor, which again I won't share on air. It's too controversial. But my doctor dropped a hot note on the vaccine that kind of came out of nowhere. And it'll just be interesting to hear that conversation.
You should get a new doctor.
Speaking of things that are new and such like that, man. Well, this isn't really necessarily new, but in terms of the results and the verdict has been released, R. Kelly has been proven guilty of, I don't believe it was, because there's a few things he's on trial for. I think one of them is is it racketeering? Is it like child? You can't racketeer a child, can you?
Bro, that's what I was thinking. Like he got a RICO, a racketeering case for sex crimes. You know how wild that is?
It is the racketeering that he got for.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of wild. It's
You
like
know,
a
like,
oh,
do you know what that
goodness.
means?
I remember looking it up after watching a bunch of episodes of Sopranos, and be like, oh, that's what racketeering is. And currently, it slips my mind.
Right. So that's like Tony Soprano is the head of the child molestation ring. That's what that means. Like there's a
Mm,
whole group of people that are in on this, and y'all are or an organized team to have sex with minors. That's essentially what it is. So it's not like, yo, you're going to jail for sexual assault of a minor or rape of a minor, whatever it's called. He went to jail for being the leader of an organized group to like
yeah.
over years and years sexually assault minors. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's like the Build-A-Bear of child assaults. He made quite the organization for it. That's yeah. I mean, it's not like the evidence has not been right in our face for like the last like 20 to 25 years. I'm seeing more and more clips of like the him sitting down with Aaliyah and all that stuff, and just I I didn't watch that docu series that they did on him where like apparently they went in full detail. And apparently that revealed a lot in itself as well. Um, I see there's a lot of people that are on the train of defending R. Kelly and saying that it's bringing race into the matter, and saying that like, oh, well, you didn't get Woody Allen sort of thing, which in some ways, sure, but I think in a lot of
No
times these
ways.
situations,
No ways. No ways, sure. I don't think there is a you can't pull the race card if he did something wrong. You
no,
can't.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like I'm saying like if you want to make that point of like, oh yeah, sure, those I guess that did happen, but that doesn't negate his actions. That doesn't
Right.
negate his actions and his racketeering. So like those are all on him. So no matter, even if it is like this like line of like racism that comes into it, as bad as that would be, what's even worse are these actions that he I guess I don't know if you could even use allegedly anymore if you've been charged for these things. So yeah, it's kind of like I was thinking of it with the DMX thing of like how we were very much like, oh, we grew up with DMX and like he passed and like we kind of have like this emotional bond. R. Kelly, I'm in no way feeling this emotional bond in any way. It's just like, that's bad. But at the same time, I didn't really grow up listening to R. Kelly all that much.
I did. I mean, R. Kelly was a big part of my growing up. Like, yeah, I listened to all R. Kelly stuff. Like, he musically, he was a legend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But when you do something like this, it's been documented over years and years and years. He married Aaliyah when she was underage. There's footage of him having sex with minors and peeing on them. There is so many women. It's documented. He's just been found guilty. People gotta wipe their hands with this guy and just be done with it. This
Mm.
there's one thing to have an emotional attachment to DMX. He passed away. DMX is not. He wasn't accused of this. He wasn't convicted. Not even accused. He wasn't convicted. Found
Right.
guilty of this. Some attachments you gotta let them go. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them already did. Like, I can you find R. Kelly on Spotify?
I don't know. I wouldn't even type it in my phone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think like that like some places have like been like we're not going to release his music, and that's going to come with like ups and downs. Like they're going to release it, I'm sure, eventually in like 20 years. It's just kind of like the move when you hear something like this to kind of protect the brand, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I always say this, and not to, this is for the R. Kelly fans, I guess. They always say like DVDs and CDs are obsolete. Not the case. If one of your favorite directors or artists does any sort of moral offense, then you got to have those hard copies.
Right.
So yeah, I guess for the R. Kelly fans out there, keep your disc
Man,
and
nah,
hide your kids.
this is what I said. You still listen. If you still listen to R. Kelly, you need to go to jail too. You can just go to jail. There's nothing. It's disgusting. Listen. They did they take Cosby all his stuff off TV and take it off TV?
I found the Cosby Show on Amazon Prime not too long ago, so that's still
Oh,
popping.
all right. Listen, man. This is Cosby is one thing, right? That's disgusting as well. But when you're talking about kids, bro, like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
man, nah, I don't. It saddens me. I've seen people that I'm cool with say things online, like you said about Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen, and what about them? This is not the time for that. Like, this is not
Right.
the time for that. It makes you seem you can say all you want, like, yeah, he should be in jail. But once you say that other part, it makes it seem like there's a part of you that kind of don't want him in there. Like, I understand what you're trying to say, but this is not the time for that. Like,
Yeah.
this man was just accused of a RICO charge.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane, dog. Like, get rid of all his music. Listen. I believe I Can Fly should not be played at any graduations.
I don't know. Well,
Nothing.
I get why that would be inappropriate now, sure. But I'm not going to say that that's not a classic song. I'm not going to say like "We Thug and Rolling On," like there's definitely for me a little bit of a maybe not a moral separation between the artist and the art, but definitely a recognition of it, sort of thing. Like if we're in like in another country that doesn't know R. Kelly outside of music, and you play Ignition, the remix, they're going to move to it because it's a good song. So I feel like it's kind of, I don't know if it's completely doable to be like, no, we're not going to listen to the music in any way, or you can make that choice, but it's to dismiss it as bad music afterward, or dismiss Cosby's catalog as poor product. I don't think that part is too accurate.
No, I'm not. We know what this man did in music. We know that. But what he did outside of music is why his music shouldn't be played.
Mm.
Like, I know we go back and forth about separating the art from the artist all the time. But this one, no. Bro, he wrote songs. He wrote a song called Age is Nothing But a Number. Like,
Walks the walk.
that was like driven by his pedophile ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you mean age number number? What you talking? It's a number, a legal
The
number.
law. Age ain't nothing but a law that we need to reinforce for you, Mr. Kelly. That's what we need.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They said he gonna be in jail and he gonna be in the shower and they gonna be trying to fill up on his booty.
I don't want to think about that. Ew. Ew. And I've never been in jail. I feel like that doesn't happen as often as people. I feel like there's a lot of consensual lovemaking in jail, but in terms of like like the saltine, I know nothing about jail, but I feel like that's been like a trope that may not be as accurate.
It's accurate.
Word.
People, let me break it down for you. If you go to jail for like shooting somebody or something, you probably be okay. Nobody gonna try to take your cookies. But like if you go to jail for sexual assault, rape, sexual assault of a minor, they're going to get you when you get in there.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. People that take things from women and rape, you get your stuff taken. That's how it go.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So R. Kelly probably will be in like some kind of solitary confinement for like the rest of his life or some shit. Because like he's gonna be he's a threat now. Like, he's not a threat, he's a possible victim. Like, they gonna
yeah.
try to get you.
Well, that's speaking of like in terms of people getting in trouble on stuff. I know you're not a huge follower of UFC, but Jon Jones, did you hear about this?
I seen it on Twitter. I wasn't sure what he got arrested for, but I did scroll past it earlier.
Yeah, man. So Jon Jones, he was actually on Thursday, he was in Las Vegas for the Hall of Fame ceremony for UFC. One of his fights from a few years ago. That fight in itself got inducted to the Hall of Fame. And on the red carpet, Jon Jones was like, my goal is to like get the heavyweight, because he's moving up to heavyweight. He's like, get the belt, and I need to learn how to hype my fights up in a legal way. Ha ha ha, because he's had so many run-ins with the law throughout his years. And maybe 12 hours after that statement and the induction, he was arrested in Las Vegas for domestic abuse and damage to a police vehicle. And details are coming out now. Apparently, it was a dispute with his fiance. Apparently, he got violent with his fiance. It was at a hotel. Apparently, his kids were there. So it's one of those things too, where they're saying with the UFC, do they take any action with that? Like, obviously, he's one of the best to ever do it in the octagon, and there's a lot of speculation in terms of some of his like PED use and all that stuff. But he's one of the best to ever do it. But outside of the octagon, he seems to be continuously problematic, with this one being one of the big ones. Even outside of like art and what we deem as like music and movies and such, there's always a balance between it.
I don't know the UFC's stand like I know the NFL. If you do something outside of your job, like you're not working, you catch a domestic violence case in the NFL, they look at it as you're diminishing their brand, so they suspend you, they fine you. There's action that they take.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, what is it with the UFC? Do they just let the police handle it, or what do they do?
They have a code of conduct apparently. One of the UFC, another guy that's going to be in the Hall of Fame, Daniel Cormier, he was saying they have a code of conduct, but they pretty much put it in place when needed or when it's really called on. So I've seen there was one other fighter years ago that had domestic dispute, and Dana White, the president, he was saying how he couldn't look past that and he had to let him go. Whereas Jon Jones, a bigger name, you have like they found like steroids in his body for one of the fights, and instead of penalizing him, they moved the fight to a different state where that particular substance was allowed because he's that big of a draw.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different with that. Who knows what the UFC is going to do? I'm sure they're getting a lot of pressure, but it seems like they kind of just do whatever it is that they feel that they want to do without really caving into a public pressure.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to put something in place, like something in black and white, like you do this, this is what needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, then you're going to have people that think that people like him that know that they're the man, that know that they're legends, they can get away with certain things like that. And if there's nothing in black and white, there's no kind of punishment for people, then people like his fiance are in danger now, because he's like, well, I can do this. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna really get arrested for no time. I may pay a fine, but like if there's nothing, no punishment for them, then you got other people at risk. You know what I'm saying? You got kids involved. Like you got to put something in paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So if you're listening, George St. Pierre, if you plan on having like a dog fighting ring, know that there may be some actions against you if you do that. So let's hope that he doesn't do that so much. So
white people don't like them dog fighting rings, so he might never see the light of day.
That's why I think he's Canadian too. Let's get some prop suggestions real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. I just had this, and I was like, yo, this is gonna be my suggestion, because these things are out of this world. They are off the charts. They're a whole nother level, bro. And what I'm talking about is Auntie Anne's cinnamon sugar pretzel bites. Oh my God. Listen to me. Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
I remember Auntie Anne's when I was a kid. Like, you get the cinnamon sugar pretzel. It was amazing, but it was all messy. Pretzel break apart. It'd fall cinnamon sugar all over your shirt and stuff.
Walk around the mall like an idiot.
Right. But they got these bites. Like, I had the bites before, but for some reason, the bites today, I don't know what it was. They like melted in my mouth like M&Ms. Like, oh my God.
Were you particularly hungry?
No, like I wasn't. Like, I even just I had like a banana beforehand, and I was good. Like, I already had like a snack or two. Damn. But like, I don't know what it was, but I was like, yo, the people, they got to get these cinnamon sugar pretzel bites, and then they come in a cup, right? And the top of the cup is like a plastic thing with like a hole on top of it, so you can pull them out and like scrape off like the excess cinnamon sugar so it don't fall all over you.
All right, that's a new technique. I've not seen that.
My daughter told me about it. She was like, Dad, this is why they got the hole on top, so you can pull them out and not get cinnamon sugar on you. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's actually pretty smart. Huh.
Yo, next time you're at the mall, stop at get the bites, bro. They're on another level right now. It's insane.
Damn. I've been on my little diet where I've been eating like pretty much salads every day, mainly from when I was houseless. But I'm October. It's gonna pop off. Kirk's gonna like Hulk up. So I'm gonna October 1st is on Friday, so I may
Thanks.
have to stop by the mall and just treat myself. It's
Yeah,
little pretzel bites, little cinnamon ones.
you bro, it's off the charts.
Damn, that's nice. My prop suggestion for this one is something that I also deem is off the charts. Just finish this one. Notes from Underground by Dostoyevsky. It's one of its. I think it's one of his first books. Actually, it's pretty
That's
short.
that's that's your boy right there.
That is my boy. Yeah, that is my boy. So I started off by reading his last book ever, The Brothers Karamazov, and then I wanted something a little bit shorter because I was reading with something else, and yeah, just wrapped this one up, and it was solid, man. The whole concept is pretty much this dude who deems himself as the underground man. He doesn't have a name. They don't say his name in any way, but he's this very intellectual person that is just riddled with cynicism. Like he hates the world. He like builds up like these feuds and animosities in his head against these people that do well by him. He it goes on like a lot of things of like how revenge is pointless, which I agree actually. And it's one of those books where like you find yourself, I don't know if you can think of any like books or movies like this where you find yourself identifying with the protagonist and you question yourself about it because the protagonist is not the best person. Protagonist has a lot of like views that are very much like, oh, that's very kind of ominous in a lot of ways, and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Targeted loneliness,
Mm.
sort of thing. His whole idea of this, one of them is that like you can't really, you hear a lot of writers say like you can't really have a collective or a collectivism in society and such. You can't have these big groups working towards this like utopia. And his whole thing is that even if we wanted to, we couldn't because man will always self-sabotage.
Mm.
Like that's
You
always going to be the case. I was like, oh, geez, she was dropping bars left and right in this book.
you believe that? Like a group can't get it together? It has to be just like single people?
In terms of society wise, yeah. I don't know if I necessarily believe it. I think there's a lot of things that we can do if we, put our collective efforts together. I think there's a lot of like policies that are put in place. There's a lot of movements that help bring things and meet those goals. But you think of other things where it's like hey, let's all get together and end jealousy. Hey, let's all get together and end racism. I think
Right.
there's a lot of things like that it's not doable from society. If despite our efforts to bind together. So yeah, in that aspect, I think it really depends on what you're aiming for.
Gotcha. No, I think that makes sense. Like those big ideas, you probably got to just focus on your own self and do it within yourself. I can see that.
Yeah, there's one thing that he goes in here of like, I think I've talked to you before about this, about like it's very much like nuance of emotions. And I won't spoil anything too much for those that may be interested in it, but there's one chunk in here where he is offended by someone in a pub. He goes in the pub angry, looking for a fight, and he's just standing there. And then one of these like tall people from the pub pretty much walks towards him, lifts him up, moves him, and just keeps going. And then the rest of the segment is pretty much the underground man, pretty much stalking this individual, and like his brain is just obsessed with it, and he
Right.
like builds up this plan to like, all right, so every time I'm walking in the street and this person walks towards me, they don't even recognize me, and I'm always the one that moves away. I kind of cower, and then he pretty much builds this plan where, you know what, I'm not going to move away. I'm going to nudge into this man. And
Nice.
it's a whole segment just on like how he like gets prepared for it, how he like mentally preps up and like buys all these items and just kind of plays the idea of like pride. And a lot of these things where it feels like a lot of times people will say like it is what it is, or it's just like, oh, it happens, sort of thing, and they can't
Yeah.
really explain why they're feeling a certain way. This goes into detail of the emotional intelligence of someone that may feel like they've been shunned by society or
Right.
just anyone. It's an interesting read. I definitely recommend it.
I'm all down. I'm always down for shorter books too.
Yeah, that part's a plus as well because it's still dense, but it's definitely, I think it's like 130 maybe. Yeah, definitely recommend that one. It's a good introduction to like kind of his ideologies.
I will look into that. Would you go on Amazon?
No, actually, at the Winding Way bookshop in Lancaster.
Out the Winding Way, wherever that is.
Yeah, it's right next to where Chameleon Club was. It's like walking distance from it.
I got you. So I wanted to we have on a list of things here to follow back etiquette.
Yeah, particularly like in comedy and such. Curious your take on this. So, say like you're at a show or even an open mic, you see a performer that you maybe have seen around, but you never really actually seen perform or met before, and you both do well, or notably like you in particular, like do notable job sort of thing. Everything's good. You're dapping each other up and all that stuff. You go back, you end up following the person to see what they're up to and help build their growth and support. But that person doesn't follow you back. What do you make of this sort of situation? I feel like you run into this a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we might have touched on this a little bit before. But yeah, I think that like for me, I follow back everybody that I know. Like if I know you, I'm gonna follow you back. Like I don't.
Now, what's no though? Like no,
Like,
like you see them on Facebook for people you may know, or
no, like if I see you in real life, like if I see you at are we on the same show? Like we're on the
right.
same open mic. Like I know who you are. Like I hate when people do that. They be like, they don't follow back somebody they know. Like, bro, I know you. Like what? I don't know. People be so weird with the follow thing. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like never with comedians though. Like never with comedians. I always, even if I don't know a comedian, sometimes I might follow him back.
Right.
Like I know we all in this shit together, not together, but we all on the same. Yeah, I'm not a hater. You know what I'm
You
saying?
get
Like,
what they're going through, sort of thing, and how
yeah,
like that follow back can be helpful.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna be a hater. Like I remember when I first started like doing the whole Instagram thing and trying to make sure my ratio looked good. Like people, I wouldn't follow. Like people, I don't follow back. Like I don't know you. I'm not gonna follow you back. But like I've always been cool with Like I'm pretty sure half people I follow are comedians. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like I just hate when people like, especially comedians, like, and I know don't follow me back. I'm like,
Does that happen often or like semi often where people won't follow you back?
You know what is funny? This is something that I think about. I don't think I ever said this to anybody. Sometimes I think that comedians that I've done shows with that I might have had a better night than,
Right.
that I will go to follow. Sometimes I think they'll be like, damn, he got a lot of followers. Damn, he was funny tonight. I'm not following him back. Like I feel like people just be hating sometimes, and I know it because it's like, yo, you hit me with a good set fist bump. You know what I mean? So it's like,
no, I think there's truth to that, and whether it be like hate or they see it as like, oh, he doesn't need my support. Like he already has all these followers, and if anything, he's following me. I think that does exist. I know I don't have like a crazy amount, like a number on mine, but that happened to me like recently. We're like after a mic, we're like, no, it was good. It was good, and it was new shit too. So it was like it went well. And the individual, like we're dapping each other up, and like you ever like meet someone for first time and like they're much more open, like they'll go in for like a hug sort of thing. I'm like, oh, all right, well that's very nice. I welcome that sort of thing.
Right.
I go home. I'm on a little Instagram scrolling through and all that stuff. I see the individual. I'm gonna give him a little follow. No follow back. No follow back. I won't call out this person.
Say their name. Say their
I
name.
won't say the name. I will say still, and I won't say I won't, but I would be like, oh, that'd be a good guess for proper Ebonics. That was a thought, and a little bit now. Admittedly, I'm like, all right, well, if we don't really bang with each other like that, then
yeah.
Still may ask the person, but it was just like,
look, I ain't a hater, but I'm petty. You're not gonna follow my man back. You're not coming on.
Yeah, that's I didn't get it. Part of me is like, oh, I wonder if like sometimes if you get like a bunch of followers at once, you won't really notice one sort of thing. But I didn't know what to make of it. I was like, I was a little thrown off by it.
No, I'm telling you, people that got like 100,000 followers, they see when somebody ain't nobody And you ain't get hundreds of followers at a time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they seen that shit. They might not know it is you because it's not your name.
Yeah, I guess, but like my photos are there. They see what's up. And I did a show recently Friday. And shout out to the headliner, Tommy Too Smooth. He gave me a follow back. What's the deal? Tommy Smooth Too Smooth gives the follow back. Open mic individual. Didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, man.
Um, but you can't get too wrapped up in the algorithms and the little trickeries that come with the social media. So you got to kind of be like, all right, that can mean anything, whatever.
I'll tell you right now, Tommy Too Smooth is literally a Philadelphia comedy legend, and
Yeah,
he is not a hater. Like
yeah,
he shows mad love. You know what I'm
yeah. Very
saying?
funny. I've
Yeah,
that's it's always cool to see when someone can do bits, but also extensive crowd work.
yeah,
It's such a variety of like who was in the room, and he rocked out with it. So it was cool to see him perform.
yeah. So that's why the guy that open mic will never be a Tommy Too
Guy
Smooth.
or girl.
So I know it's a woman now. Now I know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I wasn't trying any slick thing either. I wasn't even like being like, "Ooh, damn, I like what I see." I don't talk to anyone like that, but like, yeah, it was. Who knows? Maybe if I check my phone now, maybe I'll see a message like, "Oh, my bad. I meant to follow you last week. I'm
Yeah,
gonna follow
right.
you 2 times this week, though." That's my impression of the individual. That is my impression.
I can't wait to see who this is. This is gonna be, I can't wait till you tell me afterwards.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, man. But people got their own. Listen, maybe this is what I was saying about your name not being your name. Maybe this person just seen it say Captain Keith and kept it moving. They didn't go to your page. Maybe you know what I mean.
I suppose, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I guess it does take some work to click the name and make the contextual clues of, oh yeah, I was just at this event. I always like after events, typically there's always some sort of exchanges online with that. So like I always just kind of prepared. Like usually it's like someone's adding me back or like I add them sort of thing. So
You know what I do a lot. I'll I'll even go up to people. I'll be like, yo, let's do the Instagram thing,
yeah.
and I'll make sure we do it right there, so that way it ain't no you're not following me back type thing. Which you either you do or you don't, but like I would do that, but yo, let's do it right now, so you know, and so you can see that's me.
I hear that, man. Before we go, I kind of want to touch on this. It's a semi Instagram note, and it deals with and I feel a little, I don't want to say bad for giving this more coverage because I feel like it's gotten a bunch of coverage.
Yeah,
Is the Gabby Patello, I believe, the individual that was documenting the van life movement that we're seeing is very popular amongst the Instagrammers and just in general
right.
with younger people. Was there with her boyfriend, and I think we all know the story by now. She disappeared. They ended up finding her body. They determined it was a homicide, and now they're looking for the boyfriend, sort of thing. I think Dog the bounty hunter's on the mission now. He's looking for the boyfriend. That's not even a joke. That's not,
No, look,
Dog the bounty hunter
it's
may
funny.
find this dude.
You know what's funny about that? Not the situation, but about that. I think Dog the Bounty Hunter like went to somebody's house and the cops they called the cops on him. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
I would too. Like this dude with like long hair with like 3 pocket knives sticking out, sunglasses. I can't look him in the eye, sort of thing. Like, yeah, I would be a little wary as well. So yeah, they got Dog on the mission. The point that I want to talk about with this one, and obviously, it's a terrible thing with that, um, is that I wonder if this will derail or at least slow down the movement that we've been seeing in regards to van life of people renting inexpensive vans and traveling the country, living in it, kind of rebelling against the idea of doing a 9 to 5, living apartment, paying rent. And it's very trendy, but also economical in some ways, I'm sure. Do you think that we'll see a slowdown in this due to this case?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing that happened, but I don't think that's going to people that are in that mindset where they're fighting against the system. I don't think that's going to make them be like, okay, you win. I'm gonna
Right.
I'm gonna go start renting this apartment and go work at this I don't know customer service job. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't think that it's gonna. I don't think. Yeah, no, because it's not new. hippies was doing this back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, ah, yeah, like it's unfortunate was what happened, but I don't think it's going to halt this van life thing. I think that the pandemic like boosted it. Like there are people that are fighting the system, but now everybody is like nobody was at work for a year and a half. People were working from Zoom. The government's is on some bullshit most of the time. So I don't think that this is people can probably be more cautious and be safer. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I
But
wonder if like because I feel like a lot of the from what I've seen with people with van life stuff, a lot of it, and this is not even hate, but a lot of it is sponsored by the parents of like, if you're like 22, 23, you're probably haven't really developed the portfolio and the financial means to do these things kind of just independently. So a lot of times you'll sync up with a partner, which can be helpful. A lot of times you rely on having that backbone, whether it be your grandparents or parents, the nest sort of thing. And with that source being tapped into this story and maybe having a little bit more fear and apprehension of the idea, I wonder if that may play an effect in a way of like, we're not going to help you do this. No, it's dangerous out there. I'm sure it's going to change with time, but
I can see that. Okay, you're right there. I think there's going to be some parents who are supplying the funds for these lifestyles. I can see them pushing back on it now. Like I can see that for sure because could you imagine like you knowing what happened to Gabby and you have it in the back of your mind like, yo, I don't want that for my kid, but then still going through with it anyway, and then something bad happening to them, you wouldn't be able to live with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that'd
So,
be a rough one.
so I can see that. I can see the parents probably, yeah, I mean, van life is definitely a privilege, So I can see that.
Yeah, well, if you're listening to this in your van right now, be easy and all that stuff. Let's let the people know where we're going to be. I think you and I are going to be in a building for two separate occasions in the next month.
We're gonna be together, reunited, and it feels so good.
That was a nice little tune we did just now. One of the shows I believe is Gary Limoges' show. I don't. That's I believe the 12th of October. Do
No,
you check your
it's
calendar?
not. It's October 15th.
That's what's up.
It's a Friday.
Nice.
Carlisle at Castle Rig Wine Shop.
All right, there we go. Nice. For all I know, I'm banned in Carlisle. I'm a little freaked out to go back to Carlisle. I won't go into why, but yeah, bro, I have history in Carlisle. Let's leave it at that. Like, like, yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to be promoting the show. So your boy just may just cruise right in, do his set, look around for a little bit, say what's up, Alan, then peace. But then we're doing the show at Punchline. I believe November 4th.
You got that one right.
Nice. All right. I've never done a show at Punchline. I've done their mic, but that's gonna be a cool one. That one's that's the whole idea of that one is that we do sets and then we write for each other. So we're gonna be pairing up in that way. So I'm gonna be doing 3 minutes as if I'm Alan Massenburg, and you'll be doing some Kirk Griffiths material.
I'm just going to write 3 minutes of you just humping the stool.
Not too far off. Not too far off. That's how I prep up for all shows. Get it out of my system. That's why I'm so like calm on stage. It's just while I was humping the stool for like 12 minutes before I got up here. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to write for you yet. I need to start working on that, but I think I'll come up with some ideas.
I'm sure they're going. I'm sure they're going to message us because they haven't really like given us the details. They like. I'm just writing random material. Like, what am I?
Yeah, I think they'll as we get closer to it. But from what I gather, it's pretty much write a 3 minute set as if you are that person. So I don't know if we have to pretend to be each other, but we have to write what we think the other person's comedic mind would come up with.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm not a huge fan of concept shows and things like that, but I like this concept. Like I like the writing for someone that I know and I'm close with, and not just like some random person or like I like. And I also get to do my regular little comedy, my regular set. So I think that it's a cool concept. I like that one.
Yeah, and then if you're in Harrisburg, anyone in Harrisburg on October 20th, the Comedy Zone, I think it's called a Shit in a Hat. I don't know why they call it that. Like doing Shit in a Hat With producer Pat, I know I just did it. And I saw a set. It was very humorous. The whole concept is that they give you I guess something to talk about right up on stage, pretty much just like improvised stand up. So I'll be there, and then I should have looked at I'm not in my calendar room, so but there's two shows, two of which I'm being booked as the headliner for in October. One's in Lidditz in October 20th something, and the other's in Dansville. No clue where that is. October 30th. You boys doing 30 minutes over there, so come through.
Check my day, see what's going on. Yeah.
I may need the emotional support. May need emotional support.
Lidditz, that's Avery Quinn is the one in Lidditz.
Yeah, that's which for was that's it's the Gary one that you're on. I was like, wait, you're on it too.
I'm not on Avery's show. No.
Yeah, I don't know who else is on that one, but yeah, White Swan by Avery Quinn. So that should be a fun one. And I think there's a few other shows, but check the Instagram, follow back, and you'll maybe get some updates. That's
yeah, and if you're in Brooklyn, October 11th, they formerly known as Christopher Columbus Day. It's the Mass Hysterical Show.
Nice.
Hunky Dory is our last outdoor show before we take it inside for the winter. So I'm saying, so we're gonna it's gonna be a fun one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Columbus Indigenous Peoples Day is what we call it now.
Nice. That's gonna be a fun one, man. This feels very much the aesthetic of this. Looks like you're doing confessions. Like I'm the priest trying to like hide my face while you're confessing all of your diddly doodlies. I'll turn this way. Look,
I'm there. Listen, Father Kirk. In college, one time we robbed the weed man. We had my one friend went to the security guard and said he was locked out of his room, but it wasn't really his room. It was the weed man's room, and the security guard let him in. And then we took all the weed and we were high as shit the whole semester. Wow.
Well, I'll tell you, son. You have to do at least 4 Hail Marys for that. You're forgiven. I hope the weed man was able to get his supplies back and was able to provide for his family, and then ultimately moved on to cocaine. But overall, you are forgiven, young man. You are forgiven.
Appreciate that. I feel better now.
Well, thanks for listening. Write, review, take your vitamins. Thanks again. Proper Ebonics. Peace.